We are now in video number 12, or day 12 if you're doing these once a day. In yesterday's video, we looked at driving a change program across your entire organization. And in today's video, I want to touch on one element of that, which is about you as the senior leader driving the communications program across your organization. Now, I've got 4 children, and for any parents that are watching, you will know that your kids look at what you do, not what you say. So you can tell them, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, don't drink Coca-Cola. But if you're drinking Coca-Cola every single day, that is what they are going to follow. And it's exactly the same with driving this kind of change program across your organization. You can tell everyone that you need to embed AI in all of your thinking. But if you're not doing that yourself and then demonstrating that you're doing that, people will just look and go, well, okay, change is important, but it's not important for you, is it? So that is going to be absolutely central, and communication is so important to that. So here are just a few things that I've seen that have worked well in terms of communicating that AI strategy out to your organization. So the first is a CxO kickoff video. As you are launching your AI strategy, nothing can be more impactful than the CEO of the organization, or maybe another senior leader, demonstrating on video as to why this is so important to the business. This isn't just some tactical change or we're trying out some new technology, but actually when we think about what does our company look like in 2 or 3 years' time, what does the industry that we are in look like in 2 or 3 years' time? What are the products and services that we're going to offer to our customers going to look like in 2 or 3 years' time? And how AI is right at the core of disrupting that industry. We don't necessarily want to say this is a fight for survival, but this is a fight for our opportunity, our right to compete in the future. And that is why, from the very top of the organization down, this is so important. For your team to hear you and see you talk through that is absolutely essential. Next up, after the launch, is, well, how do you continue that communication? Now, you might have a weekly, a monthly, maybe a quarterly all hands call, which you lead as a CEO or a senior executive to all of the teams, and you're talking about some of the strategic objectives. I would recommend that you have a section in that. Maybe it's only one slide, but a section where AI has a seat at the table in that deck. That could be about a great new use case. It could be about an individual that has been rewarded and recognized for doing something fantastic. But make sure that in every one of your all company communications, everyone understands that AI is a strategic imperative for the business, and it warrants your time to talk about it. And that keeps things top of mind for everyone. Another idea would be about your idea of the month. Maybe we're talking about that on an all hands call, but what about doing this as an email notification? Maybe you have an intranet, maybe you're using Slack or Teams and got channels, but some way that you can communicate out to the entire company specific use cases of how your team are implementing AI in their day-to-day business. By seeing that other people are adopting this technology and they're going faster and they're being rewarded and recognized and they're being promoted because of it, it gives people this culture of permission to test and to learn and to try things out. Another idea that you can implement is a C-suite AI use case or showcase, which might be a web page on your intranet. It might be a Slack or Teams channel, but some way that you can show how your CxOs are using AI in their day-to-day work. So think of some specific examples. Well, what do CxOs do a lot of? They do a lot of one-to-ones with their direct reports. So maybe you can demonstrate how they're using custom GPTs or Claude projects to prepare these one-to-one agendas. They're preparing for board meetings. Maybe they can demonstrate how they're using AI to prepare their talk tracks and even the slides for those board meetings. Maybe they're doing competitor analysis, thinking about mergers and acquisitions. Obviously, you've got to be careful about what you're sharing amongst your team, but thinking about the day-to-day jobs to be done of those CxOs and how they are embedding AI in their day-to-day work. That gives that culture of permission. Think about an AI learning challenge that you set each month. So this might be about a specific use case that you set a task for everyone, that they come up with the best prompt or the best idea or the best way of solving that. So maybe that is across all of your sales team. What's the best way of researching a specific account? It might be across your finance team. What's the best way of us consolidating these two spreadsheets so that we can recognize our revenue correctly, for example? By giving an open challenge where people are going to learn some skills and be able to share different ways of thinking. Again, it's this culture of permission, but it shares a lot of these skills around prompting and around using the tools correctly. You can then reward and recognize those people in your regular all hands calls. And then a final idea for you is around your AI success metrics. So you might have a dashboard that you put up onto your intranet or whatever is the core site that you use for communicating to your teams. And this is where, for example, you might have by division, by business unit, by function, by geography. What are the AI ideas or use cases that are being suggested? What is going into a proof of concept? What is going into production? And importantly, what are the real returns that are being seen from that? Is that incremental revenue? Is it increased margin? Is it reduced or mitigated risk? Is it more efficiency around some of these processes? And start to get a little bit of competitive nature going on between your teams that see that if you lean into this and you come up with ideas and suggestions, you're going to get the support from the team to put them into production, but you're also going to get recognized and talked about on this global all hands. So these are just some ideas about how you as a senior leader can enable and drive the communication so that having had a nice launch, we've got this kickoff, we're really going to double down on AI, but continually through every one of your touch points, you're explaining to your entire company how AI is so fundamental to the future of the business. So that concludes our sessions on the change program. And as we move into the final couple of stages of this course, I'm going to talk about some additional resources that might be helpful to you to further your learning and how you can kick off your program and get underway. And I'll chat to you then.